Hello, my name is Andres Escobar, and this is activity 4 for microcontrollers. Today we're simulating the functionality of a washing machine that is controlled with interrupts. First thing we have to do is to configure our bits for the PIC 16 F84A. So as we are going to use 20 megahertz crystal frequency, we have to establish our oscillator frequency to HS, meaning high speed. In the definition of the ports for the different steps or the different functions of our washing machines, we have the drain valve, the door lock, the filling valve, and we have our door lock, spinning process, or cycle, the rinsing cycle, the washing cycle, the pre-washing cycle, and an alarm set in port A because we are running out of ports. So, and the other reason for this is that our interruptions will be controlled in a port that is already assigned in our datasheet to port, or interruption will be assigned to port RB0. This is the interrupt there's going to be, there's the pin that's going to be used for the interruptions. So in RA, we have our start continue push button, and our sensor will be assigned to the door, to RA2 inner port A. The motor, or the direction of the motor will be established as clockwise and counterclockwise. We're going to see how to reconfigure, or how the analog arrangement will be in order to RA4 work as an output. In the constants, we established the pre-washing time as 8,000 milliseconds. The rinsing time will be 15,000 milliseconds, and the mod time, the time for each motor to change or to change the direction, will be half a second. So the other thing we have to do is to initialize our ports. As we're using only RA and R2 as input, the remaining ports would be outputs. There's going to be RA1, RA3, and RA4. In TRISB, the only port that we are using as an input is the RB0, because this is the interruption input. So the remaining ports will be as output. So we initialize our port A and port B to be 0, and in our main routine, we're going to call these functions, or these routines. This routine will initialize the ports as we declare them, and the enable ISR will enable interrupts to occur. So first thing we establish that whenever and one is supplied to the interrupt input, it will change. Well, it will call the flag. We establish our flag to be 0 and enable RBT or RB0 or interrupts to occur. This is a global interrupt code. So this means that a 1 is only when the state of a push button is 1 or is pressed, it will send the interrupt, not whenever it changes. The next thing to do is call the standby, define our standby routine. This routine will blink all of our LEDs of the process as long as we don't press any button. So this is the condition. If we haven't started the washing machine, it will be on the standby routine. So whenever we have press start and continue button, and the sensor of the door indicates that the door is locked, it will go to the washing routine. If our sensor is not locked, so the door would be open, it will send you to a warning. It will send you a warning that the door is still open. So the alarm will be fired for 1.5 seconds and then go off. And it will come back to this main station, and it will enter this routine because the push button will be released, and the start button will be 0. So the register, well, the state of this button will be 0. So it will be returned to this. If we have our sensor in 1, if we have our door closed, and we started with the washing machine, it will go to the washing state or the washing cycle or routine. It will delay 1/2 second, and it will show that the door is locked. It will start the pre-washing, indicator. It will fill in the valve. It will turn on the filling valve, delay 8 seconds, and for the other 2 seconds, it will start the motor to move to the clockwise side and counterclockwise. Then it will turn everything off, wait 1/2 second, and go to the next cycle. In the washing cycle, we have our motors going clockwise and counterclockwise for 30 seconds while all the valves are closed. So it will be washing our clothes. In the rinsing cycle, we have both filling valve and drain valve open to change the water in the washing machine. It will do this. It will be doing this for like 15 seconds, and the remaining 5 seconds, because this cycle lasts 20 seconds, it will start the motor going clockwise and counterclockwise, and then it will stop, and it will last 1/2 second with everything off, and then it will go to the spinning cycle. In this spinning cycle, it will only rotate. Well, it will only start the motor in just one direction in order to spin the clothes, and then we have the drain valve open. When we finish, every one of these would be off. Every one of these the indicators will be off. The drain valve, the filling valve will be off. So, and it will send an alarm. It will send an alarm that indicates that the washing process is finished. It will be fired 3 times, and then the door will be indicated as off because we want to open the door to take out the clothes. For the interrupt routine, we have to be able to interrupt any one of these cycles except for the spinning cycle, because this will be dangerous. And to be honest, what else could you wash when you're in spinning cycle? So it doesn't wash anything. So it's not necessary to let it be open. So in order to do that, we have to do something else, that if we go out of this cycle, it has to return to each one of these cycle, and we have to storage the state of the ports, so it will continue in the same place. We declare this before this, because if we don't do it, it will storage these states in the port, so it will not work very well. So if this spinning process or spinning cycle is not on, so if it's not in the spinning process, it will read the interruption, or the interruption will be activated, or the interruption routine will be activated. And if we don't press, well, as long as we don't press the start button, or it's 0, it will continue in this cycle. It will not go further. But if your sensor is 0, and if we press this button, it will send you the same alarm, because you cannot continue the process when the door is open. And whenever we close the door and we start continue, it will exit these whiles or these conditions and make the flag 0, write the storage state on port 8 and port B, and return to the routine, to this routine. Whenever it stops, whatever it stops, it will be continuing this. If it stopped it here, it will continue here. If it stopped it here, it will continue here. If it stopped it here, it will continue here. So that's the whole process. Now, for the taste in the simulator circuit, we have our sensor, we have a start continue button, we have a watch adjust button, and we have all the indicators: the fuel, the drain, the door, the motor right, the motor left. Well, in Proteus, we said that we're gonna have a little detail that we have to connect a 10K resistor to VCC or 5 volts, and to connect it to RI4 in order to use it as an output. In this case, in Proteus, it do not shows the function of this, but in physical hardware it does. So for the purpose of this, whenever this is maybe gray, it indicates that it's on. So first thing we have to do is check that the alarm system it works. So we open the door and we press start, and it doesn't let us to start the washing machine. It just senses an alarm. We do it again, and it sends us the same alarm. So if we close this door and we start the process, it will start filling the water or filling the washing machine with water, and the door will be locked. And then the motor, as we said before, would only turn for half a second twice. And in the washing process, it would last 30 seconds. So if we stop this, and we can add some more clothes, some more detergent, we can do whatever we want with the washing machine. And if we have this door open, because, well, we have to have the door open, and we press the continue button, it doesn't allow us, and it sent us the same warning that sent us in the beginning. If we do it again, it will send us alarming. And in order for us to continue the process, we have to close this door and press the continue button, and it will continue in the same place that it stopped. This takes like 30 seconds. So whenever this process finishes, it will go to the rinse cycle, and it will turn on the fill and the drain, as we see in right now. This lasts for 20 seconds, and we have to see if whenever this spin is on, it doesn't let us to pause the process. So as we can see, the spinning is on, and we try to pause it, and we can't. It doesn't let us. It ignores us totally. And when the process is finished, it blinks 3 times, or it sends 3 times the alarm, and the standby routine is called again, and it waits for the next washing process.
Now that we have seen our process simulated, we're going to see how it works on the hardware. This this LED that is not turned on is the door locked. This is the pre-washing cycle. This is the washing cycle. This is the rinse, and this is the spinning. And this buzzer is used for the alarm. This is the drain valve, the filling valve, motor clock control clockwise, and motor clockwise. This one is connected to RA4, that is also connected to a 10K resistor to VCC or 5 volts. Now we can see that, well, we have to first open the door. We're going to see that it sends us an alarm, and it does. We press again, it sends us the alarm because the door is open. We can't start the process. We do it again. Now, if we change this to be closed, now it's a 1. We can start the routine now. It's filling the washing machine in. It's in the pre-washing process. Now it's mixing up the detergent and the fluids, and now it's washing the clothes because it's in the washing state. We can see that we can pause this cycle by using the interruption push button. If we try to continue while we have a door open because we want to add more clothes and stuff, it sends us the alarm. So it will do it anytime while this door is closed, is open. We close this door and we tell it to continue, it will continue the routine. Now we can see that. Now we're going to see if it allows me to interrupt the routine. If it's in the spinning cycle, on the last one, you can see we can interrupt this. Started. Well, now it changed it because it finished this one. Now it's in the racing. It's just filling and draining water, and in the last 5 seconds we'll start the motor to move clockwise and counterclockwise, and then it goes to it. And if you see, it doesn't allow me to interrupt this one. It doesn't. So that three times of the buzzer, it indicates that the process had finished. We can start it again. We can pause it. We can start it again, and we can pause it, and we can do it many times as we want.